Welcome to the K2 Sales Podcast. I'm your host, Karen Kelly. Every week, I'll be sitting down with a sales executive where they'll share their stories and experiences that produce game-changing results. Let's be honest, sales can be a tough game. I'm sure at some point, we've all delivered a less than stellar demo, been ghosted by a client or two, and sometimes maybe we did more talking than listening. And that's where I can help. The stories and insights our guests share can be applied to your own business, your territory, or with your team, so you're not reinventing the wheel. Our weekly tactics and strategies help you get out of your head and start creating your own path towards game-changing results. Welcome back to the K2 Sales Podcast. I'm your host, Karen Kelly. Now, we have 3 working weeks left of 2023. So I would say most of you are your heads down trying to get what you can across the line while balancing setting goals for 2024. And so what I want to talk to you today about is just this last 3 weeks and how we can really manage our time to set us up for success in 2024. So you see, I'm wearing my Santa hat, and that's because what I see is there's a lot of seasonal parties right now, a lot of activities and festivities, both personally and professionally. Absolutely, it's fun. 'Tis the season, but we want to be mindful that we have 3 weeks left. So to take our foot off the gas now is very damaging, could be very damaging, because this is a time when we can really make inroads, setting up relationships, meetings that we can have perhaps before the end of the year that will set us up for 2024. And so when you look at business as an opportunity, but even some people were waiting till January, the turn of the calendar, to start our fitness routines, to start our dry January, whatever we're incorporating. And I would say start now. Don't wait. You had an extra almost month to start building these habits, changing your mindset to really get addicted to the process. 30 days can make a huge difference. So I want to talk to you about 3 areas that we can really focus as it relates to business to set ourselves up for 2024. And the first one is looking at our purpose, our point of view, and what we were known for with our personal brand, what information we were sharing. You know, when people think of Karen, what do they think of? When people think about Dave, what are they known for? And does this still hold true to you? Does this still ignite you? Is it still passionate? And I would say also, is it still timely? Is it still relevant? Is this message one that your buyers or your audience needs to hear? Because we now have another layer of competition other than, status quo indecision. We have ChatGPT. And, AI is front and center. Don't get me wrong, it's very helpful. I use it a lot. But I think about, our purpose and our the way in which we show up. And we have to be more meaningful now. Um, and we have to be more humanized, that allows our audience to know immediately that we are not a bot, that we are not ChatGPT. So, what is our purpose? What's our point of view? What's the angle in which we want to come at? And it might be different because last year we didn't have ChatGPT to the extent that we do, and 2024 is even going to get that much accelerated. So I would say, look at your purpose. Look at what lights you up, and is it still what it was? And if it's not, here's an opportunity to start, stop, and change. So what do you want to start doing? What When it comes to sharing a message, your point of view, what do you want to stop sharing? What's tiresome? What's overplayed? What's no longer meaningful to you or your audience? Because that, when it has no energy, it's not going to take flight. And what do you want to continue doing? Maybe there's things, there's messages, there's content that's timeless, and you're thinking, I still want to continue with this. But it really is a good time for you to reflect now and think not only what my audience enjoys, but what lights me up, what fuels me, so that there's that real authenticity that brings you joy and you can see it. A lot of people, when I'm sharing, they're saying, see how passionate she is at this, because I come alive when something is meaningful to me. I'm not just going through the motions. So find out, what is that thing, that topic that's meaningful for you, that lights a fire under you, that really allows you to be memorable, to stand out. Because nowadays there's a lot of look-alike, sound-alikes. So how can you uniquely show up, even if it's a topic or a theme that, a lot of people are talking about, you're bringing your own lens to it. You're bringing your own story, your own perspective, and that's unique. That's memorable. That will allow you to break apart from the noise. So the first one is really find out what ignites you, what your purpose is, the point of view, how you want to be known, what you want to be known for, because it might be different. And so sit on that. It might not come to you right away, but I would just say, really reflect on what aligns with where you're going, because 2024 is going to be a very different year. And so that it feels congruent, it feels natural to you. The second part that ties into that is, how do you want to deliver it? And I would say, this is where finding your authentic voice really plays an important role. And so many people say, well, Karen, how do you find your authentic voice? And I actually did a talk last week to a school of sales students, and that's what we were talking about, our authentic voice. And because I've been in sales for, over 20 years, I do have an authentic voice. I know my voice. I know myself very well. But when I think back to when I first started, I had no idea. I was copying other people's voices. I was taking snippets from their presentation, from their value proposition, and adding it. And it was very mechanical because you could see that I took some from here, some from there, and nothing made sense. But beneath it all, I thought, well, who's going to listen to me? And I don't even know what my voice is because I'm so new to the industry. And so I could relate to how they're feeling. And so it's just a matter of being vulnerable and saying, well, what feels right to me? What's unique to me that I'm happy to share? And for me, I'm all about being vulnerable, and there's strength in vulnerability, because I think when you can share your lesson learned, there's lessons for you, there's awareness, but you're also helping someone else either prevent doing what you've done, or also just owning it and saying, yeah, that happened to me too. And you know what? I didn't die from it. It wasn't the worst thing in the world. So I think really finding your authentic voice that's unique to you, something that no one else can share. And so think back to your life experience, personal and professional, and how can you find stories that really align to who you are as a person, to what brings you joy, to what lights you up, to what you believe in, that creates a memorable experience that's like nothing else they've heard before. And you're competing against, I hope this finds you well, or like just real basic stuff that a bot's spitting out. And when you can lean inward and really find a voice, a story, something that's truly unique to you, that you're beating to your own drum, it's so refreshing, but it's also so liberating for you because you're not hiding. There's no imposter syndrome. It's a matter of, take me as I am. I'm here. I'm showing up. I'm in service. And this is my story. And this is my experience. The good, the bad, I'm learning. I'm human. And I think, when you show up like that, people want to meet you. They want to meet you where you're at because you're different and you're very transparent and open. And there's a feeling of they're not hiding anything. And that's what people want. Like when you think about salespeople, unfortunately, we're known to have an ulterior motive and a hidden agenda, all these things stacked against us. But when you can show up authentically, not hiding anything, knowing who you are, and knowing who you are comes with time, with experience, with feedback from other people. What are 3 to 5 words you would use to describe me? Sometimes, the way we perceive ourselves is different from the way we're perceived by others. So really getting clear, what is my authentic voice? How can I lean into it? How can I practice it? And it takes time. Don't get me wrong. I hid for a long time because I played it safe. And now, I'm unapologetically me. And I'm at a point in my career where if people don't like me, if they don't agree with me, that's okay. So I would say find out what's unique to you, where you can show up yourself, in true authentic version, and be free. Be free to share your story and to help others. And then the third part is, can we find a network that will help us share our message? Okay, so a community that is built of like-minded people where they can share our message for us. So is it a referral community? Is it a community with, same industry, same background, a networking community, a support community that they can share your message and think about the cold versus the warm introduction. Right now, it is very hard to get a response from a cold, but if you have someone who's vetted your capability, validated your credentials, and truly believes in you, and they're willing to put their name on it, that's going to open doors a lot quicker. And similarly, can you be the same for that person? How can you open your network, support someone else, knowing that they're leading with authenticity, that they have a message to share? And so you're in this mutually beneficial network that allows you to, elevate each other, but ultimately help people along the way. So find a channel, find a group, a community that allows you all to help each other. So this is just a quick, short podcast this week, but just to highlight, where can we really focus our attention for 2024 to allow us to stand out, not compete with the bots, and immediately allow our prospects to know or to answer the question. This was not written by a bot. Is the first one is really redefine your purpose. What lights you up, what fuels you, what do you stand for? What's your point of view? Because it might have changed as a result of you changing. Your why. And when we continue sharing outdated messages or things that don't align with us, our energy is flat. We're not breaking through the noise, and we sound like everyone else. And also, it's not fun. We're not lit up. Sales should be fun. It should be exciting. So really find out what your true north is for 2024. It's probably changed. I know mine has. The second part is, how can you share that? How can you ignite your authentic voice? Find your authenticity to deliver in a way that's unique to you, that stands out, that's full of emotion that no one else can compare to. So your audience is leaning in saying, wow, this is different. This is memorable. He or she shared this story they're telling their colleagues, because you're beating to your own drum. You're not playing any outdated message. You're not leading with fear. You're not leading with imposter syndrome. You're disarming. You're leading with vulnerability, because this is who you are. And no one can compete with you. And everyone else who's opening the same lines, following the same framework, the same playbook, they're just me too's. How can you just be me? Just be me. Just stand on your own and front and center and own it. And the third one is, how can you find a community where you can support each other, to elevate each other, to share that message? So you've got your purpose, you know how to deliver it authentically, but can you get a little help and support in getting greater reach, getting greater visibility? So surrounding yourself with like-minded people, even in a group where people are a little bit, a step ahead of you or two, that they can help you. You can see where they're at, and that gives you steps of, okay, this is what I need to be doing. This is what books I need to be reading. This is the courses I need to be looking at. These are the questions I need to be asking. All these things where they can help take you to that next step, but you can also help them. You have a network as well. Can you open doors? Can you share? Can you be in service, so that we have a symbiotic relationship? So those are the three areas that, if I can offer any suggestions where we can focus. And like I said, we have 3 full weeks. So to take your foot off the gas now is not a smart move. Keep doubling down on all your efforts, but also, even, you think about your personal efforts. And when we get busy, and when we have these parties, and when we have all these meetings, sometimes we drop our fitness, our health, our walks, our hydration. This is the time to double down on all that, because we're burning the candle. And so I would say, don't stop going to the gym. Don't stop moving your body, whatever it is. Make sure that you're eating and fueling yourself. You're hydrating yourself. You're practicing self-care. All these things now, that again, you're still committed to the process, so that it's not this start. That 2024, you've got already 30 days under your belt, that it's more of a continuation, versus when the calendar turns automatically, I'm going to turn too. Start the process now. We've got 3 weeks ahead of the game. Be the trailblazer. Be the change you want to be, and encourage you all to put that into practice, and set up for a strong 2024. So thanks for listening, everyone. If you haven't left us a review, would love to get some feedback in form of a review. And thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.